reconnected with an old acquaintance from like 20 years ago through my writing my story on the Wounded Dove. And when I reconnected with Anamaye, she started sharing her journey and her journey of healing and freedom. And it's just such a beautiful story of redemption. And so I asked her, I said, hey, would you mind coming in and sharing your story on camera so that we can let others hear this story as well. And so I hope you enjoy this little time that we had together of Anamaye sharing her story with us. Make yourself a little bit vulnerable, but do it for others. You know, like when you're just putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable in a way that says, I don't have it all together, I'm just trying to make a difference. I'm trying to just make the best life possible, and I want to help other people make the best life possible.
Yeah.
I think that's just when people really connect with you.
Yeah, because, you know, when people are seeing things or seeing you online and stuff like that, when you're vulnerable, people relate to that. People don't relate to the perfect family, you know, the perfect car, you know, you're all in there and, you know, you're singing along and everything's, life's not like that. So when you're like that, people can't relate to you.
Right.
So when you're vulnerable, people relate to you and they're like, you know what? That's someone stepping forward that knows exactly what I'm going through.
Yeah,
so,
that's so true. I know. And so like when you called me, it was just perfect timing because it just, I don't know, like everything just kind of resonated with me. And so like, you know, like when we're talking, we're like, what year did we know each other?
Right, exactly.
Like
so
1995.
Yeah, that's a long time.
20 years.
It is. It's a really long time to know someone and, you know, to actually still be active in their lives.
I know. And that's so thank goodness for social media because it's like I feel like that's kind of where we kind of reconnected.
Yeah, we have because I had just, I don't know if we were friends, but I had seen your Good Enough Mom posts.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, when somebody likes something on Facebook, you'll see it in your feed. And so I just started seeing that and I'm like, wait a minute, I know her and why aren't we still friends?
Right.
Because, you know, people drop off and stuff like that. And I had seen you and I don't know, just the way that you were and the couple of things that you said, I was just like, wow, you know, being a mom is tough and we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and so to see you put yourself out there and say, you know what, I know I'm not the only mom out here, you know, basically let's form a club, you know, and be there for each other. And that was the kind of club I wanted to join because I wanted to feel exactly like that.
Right, totally, yeah. And I know when I first just kind of went through all of my journey and stuff, I felt so alone going through it. And so coming through it, finally getting to the other side and finding so much of that personal freedom, I don't know what, like it just, I thought, I don't want other people to feel that as alone as I felt going through all of that. And so if I could help just one person not feel so alone in the middle of life, then it's worth the risk of putting myself out there, you know, like just doing that. And so I'm so glad, like I'm so glad that like we were able to connect.
Yeah, and you know, if you think about it, if you would have not done that, I would still be out there feeling alone. If you hadn't have done that.
Yeah.
So, you know, you paved the way for other moms, for other women, for other wives.
That's awesome.
You know, because it's just being a woman in general that's hard.
Right,
you know? And, you know, you put yourself out there, you feel vulnerable, other women see that, and they say, you know what, I can do that exact thing because someone else has done it.
Right, exactly.
So,
that's awesome. That's so beautiful. So tell me a little bit more about your change, kind of what brought you to this point, your growth in the last year or so.
Okay, so Lucas and I, my husband, has been married for 15 years.
Yay.
Yes, because that is something we never seen coming. There are times him and I look back and we're even wondering if we were even going to get through a year. But anyway, long story short, we've been married for 15 years. We have 3 kids. I had gotten pregnant with my first daughter in 1999, and then Lucas and I got pregnant with our son Noah, and then we got married. So we kind of just did everything a little bit backwards, and you know, we just kept hanging on and kept hanging on, and finally, after a little bit, my son was in preschool, and Lucas had decided that he wanted to call it quits. So I, you know, even though I was very heartbroken, it was very hard for me, I understood, you know, and so I wanted to prove that you can still have a father, you know, present and valued even if you're not married. So that was very important to me. So Lucas always just, I guess, assumed that, you know, there'll be a lot of turmoil there and a lot of grief, and he filed for divorce, and he said, we have to, you know, do a parenting plan. And I said, okay, whatever you feel comfortable with, I feel comfortable. And he's like, what do you mean you don't want to take them every single day and not let me be a part of their lives? Absolutely not, I don't. And I think that that really just talked to him, because he was like, okay, wow. We were separated for 2 years.
Wow.
And that's a really long time.
Yeah. It seems pretty final. Like, it just seems like
it did.
Over. Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you file for divorce, you know, but it was so crazy. But he had filed for divorce, and he had came and talked to me and said, the papers have to sit on the shelf for 30 days. And then, you know, it'll be final. So sign the paperwork and everything like that. Probably maybe 25, 26 days came, and he was like, I changed my mind.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, because I didn't want this to begin with. So when he had said that, I was all in, all in. That's all he had to say. So within that 30 days, it completely saved our lives. So my kids, we had to move, but my son had started kindergarten. We've been together ever since. My youngest son is getting ready to go into the 8th grade this year. But it's still, you know, was still having a hard time connecting, still having a hard time making it work, still arguing, still seemed like we were back together, we were fighting, but just not on the same team. And that's whenever I had realized, which you will understand this, is I had to work on myself. I had to be vulnerable and say, what am I doing wrong?
Right. Oh,
why is this
huge?
Yeah, it is.
Huge, yeah.
Because, like you said, looking in is gross. It's nasty. You find things that you never wished you would have found.
Right. I wish it wasn't there.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So I just started doing that, and I'm telling you, this was probably just been the past maybe year or two. Because, you know, we're always growing, and we're always just trying to make things better, and we're always praying that we don't remember the grossness. So sometimes my timelines are off. Right. But I just really started fixing me. I started saying, what can I do for this marriage? I asked the hard questions. I said, what can I do better for this marriage? What is it that you need me to be?
Oh, that's awesome.
And as he started answering very reluctantly, you know,
can you imagine?
Because it's hard to tell your spouse or someone that you love what's wrong.
Right.
But I was ready to hear it. I was ready to fix it. Mm-hmm. So he told me, and you know, it's just whatever, you know, every woman goes through, you know, and we just are so hard on ourselves, you know, and we start being down on ourselves. One thing that Lucas said that he loved about me, and just really what opened his eyes to me, was I was independent. I was strong. I made decisions that were hard. Because as you know, growing up in a family where mom's inside the house, father's outside the house, you do inside stuff. And so when we split up, I didn't know anything about oil and air in the tires.
Right, exactly. Just being that independent woman.
Absolutely,
right? Exactly.
being that way. But Lucas had seen that I was starting to become that woman, and that's what he loved about me. Because, you know, sometimes when you get married, you tend to just get laid back and lazy and just let the relationship be what it is. I didn't want that.
Exactly.
You know, you had talked about one day in your blog about having an abundant life. That's exactly how I feel. I didn't want yeah, that's what marriage is, life. I didn't. I wanted to be excited. I wanted to be happy.
Yes.
I wanted Lucas and I to go on dates and love each other and just be in each other's company and be okay with that. We had never had that in our lives.
Wow.
Never. In our marriage, we never had that. It was so funny. I had posted a date night picture one night and I was just so excited, and someone said, "You don't share very much about your kids, you know." And I said, "Well, you know, my kids are my kids, but right now it's about my husband. Right now it's about reconnecting. Right now it's about making the marriage flourish and strong."
The kids will move on. The kids will grow up and move on, and what's left is the marriage.
Absolutely. Exactly. And you know what? When there's a strong me, there's a strong Lucas, and when there's a strong Lucas, there's a strong family.
Beautiful.
You know?
I couldn't have said it better. That's a beautiful way. I'm going to tweet that later.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, my friend had said, because I had told her, a lot of women feel like being meekness and having the father and the man of the house. They have an issue with that. And she told me, you know what it is? The woman is the foundation of the husband. Without that foundation, that husband, that man, has a hard time standing. Right. But when he has a firm foundation in you, as a wife, as a mother, he can do anything.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So when I started realizing I have the power to make this amazing man, to make this amazing father, to have this amazing strong force behind me, pushing him, you can't get any better than that, you know?
Right. It's unstoppable.
It really is.
You're an unstoppable force.
It is. It is.
And I love that, the way you put that. Just, you know, for so long, I think, exactly what you said, we've got to be these meek women that just, you know, kind of submit and just whatever you say, whatever you want to do kind of thing. But in reality, we need to be these strong women. These strong women that are in our own ability. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hear Anamaye's story. Please subscribe to this channel so that you can hear more videos from me and hopefully from other wounded doves who will share their story of love and redemption. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.